Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Hello and welcome to the Club 73 Touring Car Championship presented by World Sim Racing here live on Apex Racing TV. Good evening to you all. What a fantastic Sunday we've had, and well, what a way to finish it off today with this round 2 of the championship from the Okayama International Circuit. Paul Smith here, alongside me is Dan Blake, and with James Nash on the cameras. And first of all, before we get into things here, we'll just have a quick look at the standings in the championship, and we will start off with the Kia Super Pro standings, and it is Lewis Bibby who is leading that one after round 1 last time out. 103 points for him. Ben Hackerson is in second with 93 points, and Alex Everett in third, 87. Diogo Melro and Michael Hall both on 86 points in fourth place. Sixth place is Pete Harrod at 1 point behind them. Matt Woodhouse in seventh. Scott Malcolm 8th. Chris Wood 9th. And running at the top 10 is both Jason Moreau and Neil Rock. So that is the standings in the Super Pro. Then in the Kia Pro standings, it is Andrew Whitehead leading that job by just 1 point ahead of 3 drivers: Jay Wright, John Roberts and Stuart Atkinson. Dale Green is in 5th place with Chris Sherburn in 6th, and then the rest of the drivers have yet to score a point in those standings. In your MCC Jetta standings, it is, one of the, it comes up here, Clive Lawrence, I've got it up on the screen eventually, Clive Lawrence in the lead of that one ahead of Dennis Melcher. Well, they're actually joint scored at the moment. Alexis Molina in 3rd place, with James Leggett in 4th, and then Conrad Venter in 5th. Tim Mawson 6th, with Motta in 7th place. 8th place is Hooper with Whiteley 9th, and Sean Gardner in 10th place. And well, that Jetta field well and truly packed, some good drivers in there. And then finally just the Kia team standings that we've got here. CST Pro in the lead of that one by 9 points, 180 points ahead of Team Mad in second with 171. Club 73 Racing is in third with Automech in fourth. Boosted Motorsports in fifth. GBR 2 All to Play in sixth with GBR Brit Modeler in 7th place. And well, Dan, I'll bring you in, and it's been a while since we last worked with each other, all the way back in season 2 of the Kia Club series, but we're back together, and what a track we've got here. Okayama International Circuit, the full circuit here, poses some challenges for these drivers.
Yes, good evening, Paul, evening everybody. It's sort of like a bit of a homecoming for me, because I was with part of the original World League Racing on console and used to commentate some of their Forza races, so it's a bit of a homecoming for me. But as you say, Paul, the Okayama circuit, the one these drivers know very well as well, being one of the rookie circuits on the iRacing service, so the drivers shouldn't have too many excuses about not having much time on this track. It is quite technical. The corners, which you can really lose time, I think turn 4 going on to the back straight, That's one which is critical. And also, coming out of that final corner as well, you can push a little bit wide onto the gravel and dirt, and that can cost you a few tenths as well. So there's some places where you've got to be quite precise here, or you could lose a lot of time.
Certainly do need to be precise on those corners. We're just coming up to the closing stages of qualifying here, with the clock ticking down. About a minute and a half left of that qualifying session. And well, looking at those standings as they are, and it is Pete Harrod is currently on pole position in Ukiah's ahead of Diogo Melro, who's in second, Matt Woodhouse third with Ian Roskell fourth, and Lewis Beebe fifth place. Really close standings between those guys at the front there. And well, then looking at your Jetta, it is Clive Lawrence who's in pole position for that lot at the moment, with Dennis Melcher in second, Alexis Molina in third, Carter Kundinger in fourth, and Miguel Freitas in fifth place in your Jetta standing. So you mentioned about making sure that you can get round, get good clean exit at that turn 4, and also at that last corner. Just talk us through this track, because we have got a couple of good overtaking spots down into turn 1 especially. It's a good one, but also into the hairpin of turn 5.
Yeah, the hairpin, and also actually you've got another overtaking opportunity if you're brave going into Redmond, turn 8, just before you go uphill. If you got the run, you may have a little look down the inside, but Okayama, as you say, has some good passing opportunities at Wood Curve and the hairpin potential in the last corner, first corner. It's not a track where it's hard to find overtaking. And I've also noticed, Paul, that quite a few of our leading protagonists from the last meeting in the Kia are actually absent. I don't see Ben Hackerson at all on the timing, or Alex Everett as well. So it looks like those two drivers are missing, so that could be proved quite costly come the end of the season.
Well, this is it. You know, it's a long championship. It's a tough championship as well, and we saw how difficult the championship was with the last season as well. And well, these drivers just counting down. The checkered flag is out, so whatever they're doing now, whatever lap that they're on, this is it. This is their last opportunity to get a good lap time in. Diogo Melro is just coming out of turn 4 Atwood curve and going onto that back straight. And as you're saying, crucial to get this apex. Nice late apex can sometimes do, and he's cancelling that. He's bailing out that one. Tristan Bodis is running slow as well. Sam Reed coming out of one of the final hairpins on this course. It's a really tricky situation. Really tricky part of the track is that with two tight hairpins, one after the other. Sam Reed coming out that final corner now, just getting slightly onto the gravel there, coming down that pit straight. And let's see how he goes across the line with a 1:35.0. So that's not an improvement for him in this qualifying session. And everybody else, Chris White is out there. Tristan Bodis was running slowly. John Roberts as well as taking it easy by the looks of things. So it looks like everybody has set a lap time here possibly. And so we are just waiting to see the last couple of guys coming through. Yeah, they're taking it easy. So we'll be able to take you through the starting grid then. And it is Pete Harrod who is on pole position ahead of Diogo Melro. Only 200ths of a second between them. Matt Woodhouse in third with Ian Roskell fourth. Lewis Beebe fifth with Sam Reed sixth. Tristan Bodis in seventh place with Michael Hall eighth. Chris Wood ninth. Dale Green 10th place. John Roberts, Scott Malcolm, Andrew Whitehead, Neil Rocks, Chris Sherburn, Gavin Wakefield and Stuart Atkinson round out the rest of your Kia field. That's 17 drivers there. Then in your Jettas, it is Clive Lawrence in pole position for them. Dennis Melcher second. Alexis Molina in third with Carter Kundinger fourth. Miguel Freitas in fifth with Tim Mawson sixth. Ryan Walker seventh. Conrad Venter then in eighth with James Leggett ninth. Adam Hedgecock in 10th. And then the rest of the field, Sean Gardner, Robert Lundgren, Dan Gunfield, Chris White, Steve Hooper, Addy King, Ian King. Well, it's certainly looking a good field here, Dan, as the drivers get ready to start this first race. But that crucial first corner, and then the second corner as well, you can see some incidents happen there in the past, and we could see some again today.
Especially with this very big field of cars. They've got 36 cars that are entered for this race, and they're coming down towards the race. We'll be starting very soon. Another thing that's maybe worth pointing out in qualifying is that with that last corner, it was very easy to get a 1x, which invalidates laps. So some drivers may be a bit further down than we would expect them to be. Maybe they didn't have the best of luck with 1x's or something like that. But I think it's time for the talk to start and the racing to get underway.
Drivers, just waiting for the last couple of drivers to get onto this grid, and then we'll be all set for this first race of the evening. 2 races, of course, in this championship per evening. Second race is only going to be a 20-minute race. There's been a few technical problems, so the admin's deciding that rather than it being a 30-minute endurance race with a pit stop, they've run it down to 20 minutes, no pit stops in that second race. But we've got this first race here, 15-minute race here for you coming up. I believe we're just waiting for 2 more drivers to get onto the grid, and then we'll be all set for the start of this one. But it's a good looking front row for Team Mad. Team Mad will be happy with that, the second in the championship. And well, looking to hopefully get a jump on everybody else there. Engine revs rising now. All ready for the start. Waiting an eternity, away they go then for the start of this race. And it's a good start from Pete Howard from front row. Diogo Moro got a little bit bogged down, but now makes the breakaway. Look at them going 3 wide in towards turn 1. Will they all manage to get through that first corner? They're all just snaking the way through. And those Kias seem to be able to have got through. There's a little bit of contact going on there, a little bit of banging. Everyone through the Jetters, they're coming through as well into turn 2 at the back of this pack here. And this is absolutely crazy. The dust getting kicked up. Everybody seems to be running okay, though. Eddie King, though, had an issue at the first corner. He is around. He was in the gravel. And somebody else as well was involved in that one. That was Steve Hooper involved in that one. But now back up and running again.
Yeah, so everyone back up and running, and there's not been much change. Ooh.
Michael Hall getting into the side of Lewis Bibby there at the hairpin. Obviously keen, the privateer Michael Hall, keen to get through. We see him in the BSRTC Pro Series on a Thursday night. And, well, he's keen to get a foot down. He's not had the best of starts, but he's up 2 positions, up to 6th place so far.
Yeah, Michael Hall, we know, a driver who maybe won't pull out of moves. He's quite a feisty driver. He knows how to get a pass done, and just showing there. And further down the pack, a bit of a battle there as well, and between John Roberts in the 86 car and Chris Wood. But the whole field are really fighting hard, so battles all over the shop at the moment. But first few cars, in fact, the first 2 cars, Howard and Marrow, starting to check out already. That's a big gap the teammates have pulled already.
Yeah, so look at that, 2.8 seconds lead for between 2nd and 3rd place, going down into turn 1. You've got them all getting checked up here. Matt Woodhouse seems to be a bit of a, not Mark Woodhouse, it seems to be Ian Roskell's a bit of a cork in the bottle here. And Lewis Bibby, Michael Hall, side by side, banging doors as they go through the little left-right fast chicane there. Michael Hall able to go down the inside of Bibby, but is he going to get caught up there? There's a queue of cars behind Ian Roskell here, and the thing is, Ian Roskell's able to stay ahead for the time being. So as they go down, look at the Team Mad cars. They're almost bump drafting down that back straight to help each other along, but down into the hairpin. Hall is under attack once again from Lewis Bibby. Into the hairpin they go. It was here where Bibby got tagged by Hall last lap, and this time Hall is able to stay ahead. Looking down at New Jetters, they're coming down there, and they're a bit of a snake, a slipstream train going on in New Jetters. Nobody really making any moves at the moment between them. They're all just happy to stay as they are. All they're saying that there's a little bit of contact going into the hairpin. I believe that was the 75 car and the 021 car there.
And there's also been some contact in the Kias as well. Chris Wood has lost a bit of time, made contact with John Roberts, and he had a secondary contact as well. So Chris Woods lost a bit of time there. The secondary contact was around, there was another car involved as well actually. I think that was Andrew Whitehead in the 41 car. So a bit of a 3-car incident there, but they've all got away from it relatively scot-free.
Yeah, certainly have. Neil Rocks is side by side with Scott Malcolm as they go down the pit straight here. This is the battle for 13th and 14th place. It's the last of the late breakers into that first corner. Can he get through? And well, Neil Rocks staying ahead of Scott Malcolm, bringing the dust and the dirt onto the track there. Stuart Atkinson's looking to try and capitalise on that as well, but not able to make it past at the moment. His standings as they are then. This is lap 3, and it's Pete Harrod in the lead ahead of his Team Mad teammate Diogo Melra. Third place, Mark Woodhouse, with Ian Roskell still in 4th place. But Stuart Atkinson, by the way, just makes a move there on Scott Malcolm. So Michael Hall 5th, Lewis Bibby 6th, Tristan Bottas 7th, Sam Reed 8th, with John Roberts 9th, and Chris Wood in 10th. In your Jetters, it is Clive Lawrence and Dennis Melcher. They're battling it out. They're going to go side by side down the back straight now. It's the battle for the lead of the Jetters then. Alexis Molina in 3rd, with Miguel Freitas in 4th, and Carter Kundinger in 5th. Tim Olsen 6th, Ryan Walker 7th, James Leggett 8th, Conrad Venter 9th, and Adam Hedgecock in 10th. And Dennis Melcher then takes the lead of your Jetters, or does he? Because it's still side by side, Dan, and he just gets the lead there.
Yeah, Melcher is aided there by Clive Lawrence going wide. We said about turn 4 going through the Atwood curve, and Lawrence went out wide. Melcher went down the inside, and it's taken him until the hairpin to make the move complete. But it just shows that what happens, you lose a bit of momentum going into that corner, the right-hander onto the straight, and you can lose a lot of time. And now Lawrence, who was leading, finds himself in 2nd place. But the Jetters are actually quite nicely strung out at the moment. There doesn't seem to be too many moves being made. It seems to be the Kias where we're seeing a lot of the action, although there's a quite close battle for 4th place in the Jetters I see at the moment.
Yeah, certainly is. Freitas and Kundinger coming out that final corner then, and the Team Mad driver Freitas going down the pit straight. He's under pressure from Carter Kundinger. Kundinger looks out to the right hand side, gets the inside line there, but he's having to just not get a bit slowed down. But look at that, Freitas running wide over the dirt there and the gravel, able to hold on to the position, though he kept his foot in it and keeps that 4th place, but he's lost momentum now. And here comes Kundinger then, looking to the outside, and Freitas holding that inside line for the rather long sweeping right-hander at turn 4, Atwood curve. Out of that corner they go, and they're still going to be side by side as they go onto that back straight down.
Yeah, side by side. It's bringing in a couple of the other cars directly behind them as well. That's the 46 car of Tim Mawson, and also Ryan Walker bringing into this. But as you say, still side by side. The Kundinger has a bit of an advantage on the outside. We'll try and break later, but momentum is a really big thing in these Jetters, maybe more so than in the Kias. There is less speed, so the momentum is very important, but Kundinger's managed to make that move stick. But Freitas going in the gravel lost momentum, and half a lap down the line, it's cost him a position.
Yeah, it certainly has lost him that position then, so down a place as, well, Andrew Whitehead. We lost Andrew Whitehead from this race, so I don't know what's happened to him. Maybe some technical problems for him. We'll have to wait and see. But looking further up at the front of the field, those front two, the two Team Mad teammates, they are now 4.3 seconds ahead of Matt Woodhouse, who's in 3rd place. Matt Woodhouse has got a nice gap of half a second between the next guys, and look at this now. Michael Hall, Lewis Bibby and Sam Reed all battling together as here they come now through into the Jetters, some of the Jetters here.
Yeah, that's A.D. King, who we said lost a bit of time on the first lap, so he's the first into 3 laps, stays on to the outside, giving the Kias the inside. So good drive on F&A. He doesn't really want to get involved in this, I don't think, because they're battling very fiercely, and just in front there's some action.
Yeah, I was just about to say, look in front. Ian Roskell suddenly getting with Matt Woodhouse. They're getting close together, and this is bringing Michael Hall into it now. And all of a sudden, Ian Roskell goes from attack to defence. And Michael Hall having to go around the outside. And Lewis Bibby sees that as an opportunity to go down the inside. But he's then on the outside for this next right-hander. Andrew Whitehead has had a technical problem, and he's dropped out this race. Andrew Woodhouse, our Apex colleague, who covered the first round, of course, not with us tonight. That's why you're having to make do with myself and Dan for this one, as we're going down the pit straight here. And well, Michael Hall now having to get very defensive. Lewis Bibby seems to have a good run on him, but is not able to get that final move done here.
Tried to go for the cutback there, I think, on the exit of turn 1, but he was stopped. And also, I noticed in the background, A.D. King had a spin in the Jetta trying to let through the Kia, so he's going to lose a bit more time, A.D. King. But that's going to be a big blow for Andrew Whitehead. He was actually leading the Pro Series in the Kia in the pro standings before this round. So a bitter blow for Andrew White had been the technical problem.
Certainly is, and well, the front two have just absolutely gone. They're nowhere to be seen. They're a speck on the horizon for the rest of the field of the Kias. 5.7 seconds ahead of third place now, Pete Harrod and Diogo Melro. And you kind of think, Dan, we're just hitting 6 minutes remaining in this race. You just think that those two, they're maybe just looking after themselves. Michael Hall gets tagged by Lewis Bibby. Bibby's going to go down the inside now. Well, the old bump and run. And well, he's certainly getting a bump as Michael Hall, because Sam Reed gives him a little tag as well. These Kia drivers not afraid to bump and barge, and Michael Hall, God, very late on the brakes, not able to make the move stick, but he's showing his intentions there, Dan. But Lewis Bibby finally able to get of Michael Hall.
Bibby gets in front, but I think Michael Hall, from the demeanour there of his car in the braking zone, wasn't too happy about that. And two teammates there, a bit of tag team action there. They're both starting to rough Michael Hall up a little bit, but all three drivers still on the track, and I think that's John Roberts as well, just behind them as well. So it's now going to be a 4-car scrap as there's another Jetta to be lapped. I think it's Dan Gunfield just on the entry to turn 1, but he's going to stay out of the way, but that means that the overtaking for the Kias, they may be a little bit compromised, but John Roberts will be looking at this and trying to make some positions up.
Yeah, he certainly will. Behind them, Chris Wood and Tristan Bodis have been going side by side through turn 1 and now through into turn 2 here. Wood running it out wide to try and carry the speed through, and he's hoping to use that Jetta to just box him in slightly, and Bodis has to get out of it to avoid the Jetta, and that's allowed Chris Wood then to make it through into that 9th place then. Yeah, Michael Hall's dropped back a little bit from Lewis Bibby here, so Bibby obviously had the pace of Michael and is able to pull away. And the point I was making before all that kicked off with Michael Hall is you just get the feeling, Dan, that those two at the front, Pete Harrod and Diogo Melro, are taking it a bit easy, pushing each other forward, and then they're going to have a battle for maybe the last 2 laps or so.
Yeah, it's working to good effect. They work together, and it'd be interesting to see if that's the way it stays for the last 2 laps, or if they do have a fight. And speaking of a fight, Sam Reed has got John Roberts right on his rear, and Sam Reed braked very late there, but the reason Michael Hall lost a bit of time was because he had a lunge going through Atwood at turn 4, and that lost him a lot of momentum and pushed him back in towards Sam Reed. And Lewis Bibby's now been able to pull clear, and also John Roberts makes that move round the outside, a very good move there on Sam Reed, so John Roberts up another position.
Yeah, it's not easy to make that move stick around Mike Knight corner, the penultimate corner, but he's done it at the front of his Jetta field. It is still Dennis Melchett who's in the lead of that one, ahead of Clive Lawrence and Alexis Molina, as they're heading into the hairpin now for the 7th time for these drivers. 3.5 minutes remaining in this race, and as I was saying, Pete Harrod is in the lead in this one, ahead of his teammate Diogo Melro. Matt Woodhouse then in 3rd place, 5.5 seconds behind them. Ian Roskell in 4th, doing a good job as Ian Roskell of holding on to 4th place when he looked to be maybe a little bit slower than the others earlier on. With Lewis Bibby 5th, we saw him make that little bump and run move, and Michael Hall, and that's him in 5th place. In your Jettas, as I say, Dennis Melcher ahead of Clive Lawrence, Alexis Molina in 3rd, Kata Kundiga dropped off those front 3 a little bit. He's in 4th place, with Miguel Freitas not able to make the move back into that 4th place, so he's in 5th. And Tim Mawson all over the back of Freitas now, coming out that final corner, down.
Yeah, big move there, but also I'm seeing John Roberts and Sam Reed very close as well in the Kias. They are fighting extremely close to 7th and 8th place. We've got battles all over the track, and Michael Hall taking a lunge down on one of the Jettas to get past him as well. But now Lewis Bibby has been made free from Michael Hall. He's putting a lot of pressure on Mark Woodhouse and Ian Roskell, the one in front of him. So Lewis Bibby currently 5th, but I think he may actually maybe get a position or 2 by the end, because he seems a bit quicker than those in front. Now he's been freed from Michael Hall.
Yeah, that's it. He is able to get free of Michael Hall and is moving forward. But Mark Woodhouse in that 3rd place. He's lost a second to the leaders there on that last lap, so it just goes to show how a bit of traffic and a bit of defensive driving can really affect your pace here. As we're heading into the last minute and a half, Dan, you know from racing yourself just how difficult it is to keep looking forward and not let yourself get slowed down too much by the guy behind you attacking you.
Yeah, I think in those situations you want to stay as far out of your mirror as you can, because it can be a distraction, and it can make you think twice about things, and you just need to look forward. When they're behind you close enough, you'll know about it when they start weaving around. But I think not looking in the mirror is probably the best thing. But I think also something we might actually see today is the Kias might not actually lap the Jettas or the leading Jettas before the race is over. That'd be quite good, because it won't ruin the battle in front of the Jettas, because they're fighting very hard as well, and it's going to be a close run thing. But I don't think they're going to get any interference from the Kias. But Dennis Malka is in front of Clive Lawrence, but Clive Lawrence and the Jettas going round the outside, or trying to, and the top three in the Jettas are pulled away from the rest of them by about a couple of seconds there, really. So they're pulling away, but it's coming to start the final lap, I think, pretty shortly as well, and Team Mad have really just shown them how it's done.
Yeah, this is the start of the final lap then. The clock ticks down to 30 seconds remaining, so it'll be one more lap then for these drivers, and Diogo Melro is actually a little bit faster than his teammate at the front, and he's looking busy, he's looking dangerous. Pete Harrod just looks to be swinging the back end of his Kia out around going into turn number 2, Williams, and then to go through the Moss S at turn 3 down towards Atwood Curve at turn number 4. We keep on mentioning you've got to carry that speed through here, get a good exit, clean exit, don't spin up the tyres too much. And if Diogo Melro, with him sitting behind, if he's been able to look after his tyres, he can maybe attack. They're catching up to a number of the Jettas. Speaking of the Jettas, the second place, Clive Lawrence under pressure from Alexis Molina. He's not able to get the position for the time being, so it's action all over the place. Leading Kia's coming round towards the final third of the lap now. And, well, those two, they're absolutely at it. Lewis Bibby is right on the tail of Ian Roskell, is right on the tail of Matt Woodhouse. A really close battling in those Kias towards the end of the race. Coming into the final few corners now, though, and it is the Kia leaders that we will look at, because Diogo Melro is trying everything he can to get past Pete Harrod, but it's so difficult to make some moves into these final corners. And while Pete Harrod must be feeling a little bit confident, he must be feeling assured that he'll get that. Just one more corner to go. Don't make the mistake there. Runs in a little bit wide at the apex, but Pete Harrod holds the position, and, well, it's going to be a brilliant finish for Team Mad. Across the line they go. Pete Harrod wins in the Kias ahead of his teammate Diogo Melro. Behind them, Matt Woodhouse takes third ahead of Ian Roskell, and Lewis Bibby rounded up the top 5. Looking at the Jettas, by the way, they're still battling away, not able to change into positions, and those Kias coming across the line to finish their race. But damn, these Jettas, they're still giving us a good show here. But it's about half a second between Melcher and Clive Lawrence at the moment. Molina has just dropped back a little bit there in third. But it's that battle behind, the queue behind, fourth place, where the action really is.
Yeah, Carter Cundinger going one way and then the other. He's trying to break the toe for the 5 cars behind him. But it looks like they are all going to stay in line for the moment. And Carter Cundinger will have 4th as it stands at the moment. But Freitas, Mawson, Ryan Walker, James Leggett and Conrad Venter all in very close attention. But those front 3 also quite close together, but I don't think in the front 3 there's going to be enough time for someone to make a move, unless there's a mistake, because Dennis Malka and the car of Clive Lawrence and Alexis Molina seem to be pretty close, but not close enough for a move to be made. It's that battle behind, as we say, although that seems to have settled down a little bit as well. But fantastic racing in the Jettas as Dennis Malcher comes around the final corner, and he will take the first race, I think, for the Mike Cooling Cup. He comes down towards the pit wall. Clive Lawrence did get a nice little run there off that final corner. He's going to make it close, but Mike Cooling Cup victory for race 1 goes to Dennis Malcher, with Clive Lawrence in 2nd and Alexis Molina 3rd. Carter Cundinger takes 4th place, and then there's a whole herd of them behind him.
Yeah, absolutely great driving from the Jetta drivers, as well, everybody now heading back to the pits, and it was 11 of the Jettas that were able to stay on the lead lap, so good driving from those guys to get the pace. But here then we'll bring you the classified results of that first race of the evening here in the Club 73 Touring Car Championship, presented by World League Sim Racing. And it is Pete Harrod for Team Mad who takes the win ahead of his Team Mad teammate in Diogo Melro by 86 thousandths of a second between them across the line. Matt Woodhouse in third place, did a good job there to start in third and finish third. Ian Roskell started fourth and finished fourth, so a good job from him. Lewis Bibbett battling his way after not having the best of starts to get back up to fifth place. Michael Hall up to sixth place from eighth on the grid. John Roberts, good drive from him, 11th to 7th. Sam Reid finishing in 8th. Chris Wood, 9th. And Tristan Bodis in 10th place. With the rest of the Kia field being Dale Green, Neil Rocks, Scott Malcolm, Chris Sherburn, Stuart Atkinson, and Gavin Wakefield rounding out your Kia field, with Andrew Whitehead retiring from the race as well for them. And then in your Jetta class, you've got Dennis Melcher, who's won that race ahead of Clive Lawrence. Alexis Molina in third place with Carter Kundinger in fourth. Miguel Freitas in fifth place with Tim Mawson sixth. Ryan Walker 7th place with James Loggett 8th, Conrad Vento 9th, Sean Gardner 10th, and the rest of your Jetta field, Adam Hedgecock, Robert Lundgren, Chris White, Ian King, Steve Hooper, Dan Gunfield, Addy King, who we saw having a few issues in that first race. But I'll tell you what, Dan, cracking first race. The second race, it's a little bit different. We normally have a pit stop race, but we're just going to be having a 20-minute race. No pit stops in the second race, so it's going to be slightly longer. So those Jettas, you would think, will be getting involved right towards the end of that second race.
Yeah, that's going to be good to watch. So I think, as you say, the Jettas will come in. The last couple of laps, they'll get involved. And also with the reverse grid and the 20-minute race with no pit stops, it spices the things up a little bit. It's something different. The drivers have not had a race like this before where it's reverse grid 20 minutes. They're used to having a pit stop and making strategies work out with pit stops. And that's something which they're not going to be able to do today. So they maybe have to think a little bit outside the box and see what they can do to make positions up. Because it's not the regular feature race we have here in the World League Sim Racing Touring Cars.
Yeah, certainly not, and we're going to be looking forward to that one. So we'll be just stepping aside for a few minutes while we get ready for that second race. But what a race it promises to be with that reverse grid. You are watching the Club 73 Touring Car Championship presented by World League Sim Racing, brought to you on Apex Racing TV. And we'll be just stepping aside for a few moments, but we'll be right back after these messages.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com. Simulated racing can be awesome, but can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun, but there was always a certain level of
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV, the Club 73 Touring Car Championship presented by World League Sim Racing. And it's the second race of the evening for you. Now, normally it is a bit of a longer race with a pit stop, but due to a few technical problems today, the drivers are not able to do those pit services. So instead, we will be having a 20-minute race with no pit stop mandatory. So we're going to have another race here, slightly longer, 5 minutes longer than that first race of the evening that we had. And what a first race it was indeed. And well, welcome back. It's Paul Smith alongside me, Dan Blake, James Nash on the cameras. And Dan, we saw a good first race. The second race a little bit longer, so tyres going to be coming to play a little bit more, with the track temperature being about 15 degrees Fahrenheit, a bit hotter.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what effect that has, but also worth noting it's reverse grid, and these drivers have got 1/3 less playtime than normal, so it's going to mean that it might be a bit more desperate to get past people than usual. There may not be quite the patience that we usually see, because, as we say, it's 10 minutes less longer than the normal race. Usually 30 the pit stop. We're going for straight out 20 minutes, so I think we might see a bit different action to what we usually see in race 2. I think we could see it's going to be fast and frantic, I think, in this one, because with it being reverse grid as always in this race, less time, no pit stops. I'm looking forward to this one.
We saw Team Mad take a clean sweep. Not only did they come 1-2 in the Kias, they also won with Dennis Melchett in the Jetta class as well. So Team Mad were doing a very good job there, and I know the team boss Dave Crozier will be extremely happy with the efforts in that first race, but they'll be hoping to make their way through this field again and get pretty far up the points standings, because coming into this round, Dan, they were second in the team's championship in the Kias, and it was only 9 points between them and CST Pro.
That first race will do a lot of difference there with the 1-2. I think they've got to have a decent race as well in this one, but I think that first race will really be the difference at the end of the second one today.
Of course, Lewis Bibby, Matt Woodhouse and Sam Reed all racing for CST Pro, doing a good job in that last race. Lewis Bibby was able to fight back to where he started in that 5th place, and well, did a good job battling the way through. Not the best of starts, and the thing is, since iRacing did some little changes, little tweaks to this Kia, it's become a little bit more difficult to get off the line now, and so easy to spin up those front tyres. So be interested to see how drivers attempt this race start this time by, but we'll be taking you through the grid very shortly indeed. As we say, reverse grid order, and well, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Reverse grid championship order, of course, so drivers going to be starting further down than they would be liking who are further up the championship. So let's have a look then at that grid, and in your Kia class then, it is Sam Reed who is on pole position ahead of Chris Sherburn. So really good for Sam Reed there. Dale Green in 3rd place with Stuart Atkinson 4th. Neil Rocks 5th with John Roberts 6th. Chris Wood 7th place with Scott Malcolm 8th. Matt Woodhouse 9th, and Pete Harrod 10th, with Hall, Melrose, Bibby, Boddice, Ruskell and Wakefield rounding out those 16 Kias on the grid there. And in your Jetta class right behind them is Addy King, on pole position ahead of Robert Lundgren. Chris White in 3rd with Dan Gunfield in 4th. Ryan Walker 5th with Adam Hedgecock 6th. Sean Gardner 7th with Steve Hooper 8th. Tim Mawson 9th and Conrad Venter in 10th. And then rounding out your Jetta class, James Leggett, Alexis Molina, Dennis Melcher, Race 1 winner, Clive Lawrence, Manuel Freitas and Carter Kundiger. And well, the engine revs are rising, the green light is out, and away we go then for the start of this second race. And it is a good start from the front. Look at Dale Green getting a fantastic start, looking busy, looking to try and get through, but not able to make any moves. And well, it is going to be then in the lead of this one. It is Chris Sherburn out front, but Sam Reed looking to try and get the move done early. We saw how quick he was in that first race, and if he can get through here, he could try and pull away and get a good result for his team. The Jetters, they're all away as well. No instance for them, so they're able to carry on and work their way through. There's a bit of an accident at the hairpin, turn 4. Bit of coming together, able to carry on though. And well, the Jetters, they're coming together. 46, that was Tim Mawson. He was turned sideways. A few others involved in that one as well. Sean Gardner and Miguel Freitas as well. So the Jetters getting involved in all sorts of shenanigans there at turn 4.
Yeah, also Tim Mawson, a quite heavy bit of damage as well to the front corner of his car. So there's been a bit of drama there. And I also noticed John Roberts in the Kia was that's about 4th or 5th place. He's had a great start. He started 6th, so he's keeping up that position, but he's not going down the inside there of Dale Green. So John Roberts up a place, although there could be a bit of a quarter panel there if they're leaning on each other, and leaning on the quarter panel is not what he wants to do in the Kia.
No, certainly not. This is still side by side. Dale Green's going to have that inside line. They're still side by side heading into that final corner. John Roberts trying to hang it up around the outside in that boosted car and trying to get the cutback now. He tries to get that better run, using a little bit of slipstream. Now darts out to the right hand side. He's looking to have that inside line in towards turn 1. Ahead of them, Stuart Atkinson is trying to make a move on Chris Sherburn. And well, John Roberts has gone through. Dale Green runs a little bit wide, and here comes Chris Wood down the inside now to the outside of turn 2. They're still going to stay side by side, but at the moment, Dale Green's just falling backwards a little bit here, because here comes Pete Harrod, race 1 winner, already up to 7th place, attacking for 6th.
Yeah, Pete Harrod there with a bit of a watching brief, and there was a bit of a stack up behind, but no contact made. But Pete Harrod, another fantastic start from him, and after it's a bit of 3 1. Oh, that's a big crash. 3 or 4 involved.
Michael Hall.
One of those Michael Hall, and then 2 of the teammates we were talking about. Lewis Bibby.
Matt Woodhouse.
Yes, Lewis Bibby there with a massive tanks up. I managed to hold it, but there were 3 wide, and one of the car in the middle was bouncing between the other 2. And
they were squeezing him. The 2 teammates were actually squeezing Michael Hall there. So they kind of caused it themselves, did Bibby and Woodhouse then. Not good driving there really from them, and they're able to, Lewis Bibby's able to carry on with a battered car, but Michael Hall, he's dropped right down the order. He's got a very damaged car, and it'll be interesting to see whether he can actually make any repairs, with there being a few issues with the pit stops. But at the front, Sam Reed coming around to start lap 3 now. He is 1.5 seconds ahead of Chris Sherburn, who's under pressure from Stuart Atkinson and John Roberts. Chris Wood behind them, and Pete Harrod with them as well, all in a queue there. In your Jetta class, it is Robert Lundgren who's in the lead of that one, ahead of Chris White. Ryan Walker in 3rd, Eddie King, a pole sitter, in 4th place, who's able to hang on so far and doing a good job there in 4th place, and Dan Gunfield in 5th. But Diego Melrose as well in the pits. So he's had issues on that one as well.
I was just going to say, Paul, Diego Mauro, 2nd place in race 1, but they've both been able to take their repair and damage. So that's good to see that the damage has been repaired, but they have got a long way to catch up. But very unfortunate for Diego Mauro, 2nd in the first race, and now he's got to go through the pack of Jettas who are fighting very fiercely as well. So that may not be the most easiest thing. Some of them on the grass in front as well. So I wouldn't want to be Diego Mauro.
Speaking of going on the grass, it's Chris Sherburn. He was forced wide at the hairpin, and both the boosted cars, Chris Wood as well, and Pete Harrod as well, have all gone through, and Dale Green's now putting the pressure on Chris Sherburn. So Chris dropping down there the order as well. Chris Wood looking to make a move on Stuart Atkinson, but out there, John Roberts at the front of that queue now. He's looking to try and get the hammer down and try and pull away, make a breakaway, and make a challenge for the leader, Sam Reed. Sam Reed has now got a 2-second gap there at the front.
Yeah, John Roberts started the lap in 4th, up 2 places to 2nd, and if he can pull away from the car directly behind him is his teammate Stuart Atkinson.
Lewis Bibby on the grass.
Yeah, saw that.
You don't want to be doing that, Lewis. We've seen you do moves on the grass before, and it's worked out in the past, but it's all going to come back to bite him at some point. But he's so far been lucky. He's holding around the outside of Dale Green. He's going to have the inside for turn 2. That beaten up Kia Optima, it's through, and Lewis Bibby, well, he can count himself lucky once again. The king of grass tracking, it seems to be, Lewis Bibby, and he is now up to 7th place.
Yeah, I find him extremely lucky there because you didn't actually have to let him back on the track there on the grass, so you're sort of putting faith in the other driver that they're not going to put you off there and keep you on the grass, but Lewis Bibby's still where he is now, and it looks like that in front Pete Harrod is very close as well to Stuart Atkinson as well in front.
Yeah, Atkinson's attacking Stuart Atkinson. Yeah, Atkinson Stuart attacking Stuart Atkinson. Chris Wood is attacking Stuart Atkinson, and well, he's under all sorts of pressure here, and all of this is allowing John Roberts to pull away from them. That's exactly working into Roberts' favour. They're able to just make that breakaway there, and well, Wood trying to go around the outside. That gives him the inside for the next corner, but now he's got Pete Harrod here, the Drift King himself, the race 1 winner, trying to go around the outside, but you're not going to do it around that right-hand hairpin. On these final 2 corners, this is all about just setting yourself up for this pit straight, carrying as much speed as you can out of that final corner, using the slipstream of the car in front as you're heading down here, Dan. And well, Chris Wood, he's looking like he's about to make a move here.
Yeah, I don't think he's quite going to be late enough on the brakes. No, Pete Harrod going to try and have a look round the outside, but Stuart Atkinson a poor exit, and that's going to allow Chris Wood to go round the outside, but Atkinson should hold on to it for now, but it means that the Wood will have the inside line for the hairpin, but he's got to be careful because Pete Harrod right behind, but what it is with the momentum on the inside, he's going to try and make that move, and Stuart Atkinson goes very wide, and Lewis Bibby wants a bit of this as well. Bibby's car very beaten and battered, but he's moving over there on Pete Harrod, and Lewis Bibby's driving has been very, very aggressive in this race, and he's got to be a bit careful because it'll come back to bite him one day.
Yeah, absolutely. The battle scars are showing on that car from that incident with him and his teammates. And Michael Hall, of course, we saw at the opening of the race. And there's a little bit of quarter panelling there with Atkinson. And into Lewis Bibby goes his teammate, Chris Wood. Pete Harrod is going to say, thank you very much, I'll go down the inside of Wood. But Bibby, somehow, still the king of off-road, he's keeping it going. He's kept ahead of Pete Harrod there.
He kept the throttle pinned across the gravel on the grass and just managed to find that drive. I don't know how, but he's managed to stay in front of all of them. So fast and frantic action near the front of the Kia field. But I also noticed in the Jettas, Alexis Molina finished 3rd in the first race. He dropped down quite a bit as if he'd had to make a pit stop, but maybe on the grass there again, just coming into the exit, into the entry of the final turn, and that's to give Pete Harrod maybe an opportunity, but Stuart Atkinson's lost a lot of momentum as well, so Bibby's going to try to go around the outside, but Pete Harrod could maybe try and get down inside of Bibby, but it's very, very close, and it won't surprise me if they try and go 3 wide, but I'm not recommending it.
Oh, Harrod going onto the grass there on the entry of turn 2. That's not good for your braking there, Pete. As well, around the outside, they're still side by side, Bibby and Harrod. Bibby squeezing Harrod there on the Moss S, and now going to go around the outside of turn 4. You can try and make that work, but generally that inside line is a bit quicker, and here comes Pete Harrod then. You're going to carry the speed, though, around the outside there. And that's what Lewis Bibby's trying there. Stuart Atkinson squeezing Pete Harrod. Harrod going to the middle now of Bibby and Atkinson. And we saw what happened last time that we had 3 wide. Down that straight, Atkinson late on the brakes. Squeezing Lewis Bibby to the side of the track. They're going 3 wide. Oh, this isn't going to work. And this big bang bunch, and into Bibby, and Harrod they go. Around goes Bibby. He's been in the wars in this race, and he's just going to keep his foot in and keep going.
Yeah, the can't fault his determination. He's going to keep. Reminds me of some of the British touring car drivers of yesteryear. And there's Scott Malcolm, I think, turning around the 64 car as well. So behind, yeah, Tristan Bodice. And there's another potential incident happening as well. Number 6 car getting pushed out wide, but yeah,
that was Roskell, yeah.
It's struggling to find room to breathe at the moment because there's so much action going on at the moment.
And look, but speaking of action in your Jettas, look at this for 2nd place, Conrad Venter and Robert Lundgren into the hairpin, and it's going to be Conrad going down the inside to take the place from Robert Lundgren there. So up into 2nd place then for Conrad Venter in your Jetta field. So good move from him. And he's now going to try and catch up to Ryan Walker ahead.
Look, he's in 4th place already, Dennis Melker. So he's going to be trying to put some pressure on these. And fantastic start, first half of the race with Dennis to be fourth, but he's not too far off the three in front of him either. So Dennis Melcher, I think maybe a favourite later on in the race because he looks like he's got the pace. He won the first race in the Mike Corning Cup. He will try and make it a double, I think, for this race, and I wouldn't put it past him because still got quite a long time to go, and he looks a lot quicker than those in front of him.
You're talking about the aggressive nature of Lewis Bibby's driving. He's nearly pushed Pete Harrod off track there. He has put a little apology on in-game chat, and now Bibby's going to come under pressure from Ian Roskell. Ian Roskell, who's amazed that he made the corner. He did end up giving Pete Harrod the position, and well, Lewis Bibby, do you know what? I think that's the car. Oh, and into the side of Ian Roskell goes Bibby, and he's got a severely damaged car. And to be honest, with the way that car's driving now, it may be worth coming into the pits and getting a repair done. And that car is still pushing those, Bibby, but it's not the best driving. It's a bit too aggressive. He needs to just calm it down a little bit, Dan.
Yeah, it's sort of some sort of thing you see on the short ovals, I think, in Britain. It's very in your face, very frantic. I said it'd be fast and frantic, but Lewis Bibby's just thrown all sails to the wind, and he's really been pushing his elbows up, maybe a bit too far though, and it'll be interesting to see what the league organisers think about it as well.
In your Jetters, Dennis Melcher looking to get third place. Behind them as well, you've got Chris White and Carter Cunningham going side by side. Cunningham, who started at the back of this field, he's up to 6th place in the Jetters, so really good drive from Carter there. Able to work his way through his field in the number 2 car. Dennis Melcher looking to put all that pressure on Robert Lundgren, but Conrad Venter has pulled away from those two and is now only 1.3 seconds behind Ryan Walker, so he is gaining on Walker. As Melcher,
yeah, gonna let down the inside there, and I think he caught Robert Lundgren out there. I don't think Lundgren thought he was going to do that, but Melcher saw an opportunity and has made a clean pass there, and that is really great driving from Dennis Melcher.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's just slowed them down a little bit. That's allowed Chris White and Carter Cunningham to catch up to those two as well. So going on to another lap here, and it will be lap 8 for these drivers. Going down into turn 1, Chris White looking to the inside of Lundgren. Looking to get that job done as well, but is slow on the exit there, and here comes Cunningham looking to try and make the move on them, and Lundgren loses one position, could lose another position to his teammate, and it might be worth him letting his teammate pass so that Cunningham can fight on and push forward.
Yeah, I think you don't really want to be fighting your teammate. We saw that earlier with the team mad cars in the first race. Oh, Lundgren very late on the brakes there, and I think Cunningham would have been looking in his mirrors and may have had a little bit of a shriek inside that cockpit because it didn't look like he was going to stop Lundgren there.
Well, we've got just 6.5 minutes remaining in this race, and it is Sam Reed who is 2.3 seconds ahead of John Roberts, so he's been able to just slowly eke out that lead at the front there, although John Roberts was quicker by 0.6 of a second on that last lap. Chris Wood is in 3rd with Dale Green 4th. He's got Stuart Atkinson right behind him and Chris Sherburne right behind him. Neil Rocks then in 7th with Scott Malcolm 8th, Mark Woodhouse 9th, and Pete Harrod in 10th place, with Lewis Bibby still all over the back of Harrod there. In your Jetters, VW Jetters, it is Ryan Walker is in the lead of that one. He's lost another couple of tenths on this lap to Conrad Venter, who's in 2nd. There's Melcher is in 3rd place and he's pulled away now from Chris White a little bit, so able to gap out Chris there. Carter Cunningham in 4th with Robert Lundgren 5th. Clive Lawrence though right behind in 6th place and looking busy, looking to try and make the move. Steve Hooper is in 7th with James Leggett 8th. James Leggett 9th, sorry, and Tim Mawson in 10th place. In your Jetters, Clive Lawrence looking to make the move here on Robert Lundgren, going down towards turn 1. Bit of damage on the side of Clive's car, and not able to make the move initially, but we've seen it, that people have been able to carry it through the inside and then hold it around the outside for turn number 4. It's contact with a 308, and who was that? It was James Leggett who got into the side of Steve Hooper.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate there between Leggett and Hooper. It just looked like they were fighting in quite close proximity, and it just looked like maybe that Hooper went over on Leggett. I don't think Hooper maybe knew Leggett was there.
Robert Lundgren, he's had it instead at turn number 4, And we'll have to have a look at that one. And it was with Clive Lawrence. And they got into the side of each other. Lundgren, then got tagged by James Leggett. So Leggett has not been involved in 2 incidents in 3 corners there. Able to carry on now. But Tim Mawson was able to make it past Leggett as there's more contact going on. And John Roberts, what on earth has happened to John Roberts? He was in 2nd place.
Yeah,
he's not anymore.
He's launched himself. The number 75 Jetta and John Roberts have had a massive collision on the front straight. John Roberts won't be too happy, but that's ended his race. It's a big accident for John there.
I think that's a little bit of... do you know what? John could have maybe got out the throttle a little bit there.
Yeah,
because he's on the grass and he's pushed them round. I'm sorry, John, but in my opinion, that's on you. He's back up and running though, out the pits, but he's down to last place in your Kia class.
Yeah, he had a bit of time before the cars behind him as well. Once he was in a battle, he maybe could have... I think he probably could have backed out of it maybe. He would have lost a half a second to a second, but I think it's a racecraft thing, isn't it, really? When you're not used to racing in these situations, you maybe not used to that sort of thing happening, but John will definitely learn from that, but I think he probably is.
I mean, the thing is, we've got to remember, it's multi-class racing. There is a speed difference in these cars, and okay, there's been 1 full season of this championship, but not everybody's raced with each other, and it's multi-class racing. It's a different mentality. Pete Harrod is looking at the inside of Scott Malcolm. Lewis Bibby's still with Pete Harrod, by the way. He's all over him like a nasty rash here. But multi-class racing, it's a different mindset. You've got to be really patient with each other. And unfortunately, it's 3 into 1.
Yeah, Malcolm.
3 into 1 doesn't go, but Lewis Bibby says thank you very much. And while he's getting held up by Malcolm on the exit there, we're going to have a 3-wide situation down the back straight here. Bibby getting a bit of bump drafting, from Tristan Bottas. Pete Harrod's gone around the outside. Hit your brakes. Hit your brakes, guys. Bibby into the side of Malcolm. Carrying on they go. Pete Harrod's at the front of that gaggle of cars still. Well, Scott Malcolm's losing a ton of positions here, though. I don't think he'll be too happy about that, getting all sorts of attacks from left, right and centre.
No, I don't think that Jetta driver, I think he'd be breathing a sigh of relief seeing them coming 3 wide to the side of him. They are 4 wide there at one point, and they all managed to get through the corners okay, so in the end it's worked out alright, but very tense stuff there.
Absolutely, getting a bit feisty in this reverse grid field. Of course, it is a shorter race. We've only got 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining in this one. And these guys, they're maybe just getting taking a little bit more of a rushed approach to this race than they normally would with the pit stop race. But, well, one man who isn't getting rushed, and he's got the cleanest car on the grid, and that is Sam Reed, out front by 4 seconds ahead of Chris Wood, who's in 2nd place. 3rd place is Dale Green, so really good for him so far to be up into that 3rd place. He started in 3rd, so able to hold on to that position for the time being, with Chris Sherburn in 4th, under attack from Stuart Atkinson behind, who's got Neil Rocks right with him as well, and Rocks is looking dangerous here as they go onto the back straight.
Yeah, it's a good battle going on there. Neil Rocks, as you say, just about there behind the car of Stuart Atkinson, which has lost a place on this lap to Chris Sherburn because they're in the opposite order when they cross the line, but they're just now coming across those lead Jettas, and we saw Team Mad do a 1-2 in the first race in the Kia class. In the Mike Cooling Cup, it's Apex doing a 1-2 with Ryan Walker and Conrad Venter, and they've got about a 3-second gap back to Dennis Melcher as well, so they pulled out a bit of a gap on Dennis. I thought that was a lot closer earlier on.
Yeah, certainly doing a good job there at the front, excuse me, at the front of that field. And well, heading in towards the end of this race, and Sam Reed is coming into the final corner. The clock is ticking down, and I believe we'll be getting 1 more lap then, because it's only 15 seconds remaining. So 1 more lap of this race. It's been chaotic at times, but so far been absolutely enthralling to watch here, Dan. And well, final lap then. Drivers, there's some good gaps there, but Lewis Bibby is trying to keep with Pete Harrod, but he's not able to do so at the moment. There's not really any really close battles apart from James Leggett and Steve Hooper as they're going down into turn 1.
Yeah, Steve Hooper and, as you say, James Leggett back then. James Leggett was involved in quite a bit of contact a few laps back.
With Steve Hooper.
Yeah, and he settled down a bit now, I'll say. But I think that Kia may have split up the battle a little bit there, but he's got to go past Hooper, which he will
Stuart
on the
Atkinson.
outside.
Stuart Atkinson getting really close here to Chris Sherburn. He wants that position. He wants to get as many points as he can for Boosted because you can see the wrecks that are behind him with Matt Woodhouse, Pete Harrod and Lewis Bibby. Those cars have seen better days. They're not going back on the forecourt. Chris Sherburn runs wide. And that's going to allow Stuart Atkinson the opportunity to look here, but he's not quite close enough to make the move. Looking to the inside of turn number 7. Piper, through they go then, and he's not able to get it done. They're heading down towards the hairpin. One of the final few overtaking opportunities down here. Neil Rocks under pressure from Matt Woodhouse into the hairpin. There's the go, but well, out front, coming out the final corner, he's taking it easy, and he's had it all his way. Sam Reed goes weaving across the line. Fantastic result then for Sam Reed. Great work from him to win that one. Chris Wood in second place, Dale Green in third, and Chris Sherburn will hold on to that fourth place ahead of Stuart Atkinson, Neil Rocks and Matt Woodhouse. Pete Harrod in 8th place, just ahead of Lewis Bibby in 9th. And Tristan Bottas rounded out the top 10. And well, the Jetters, they were all lapped as well, and it is a 1-2 for Apex. Ryan Walker and Conrad Venter winning that one, 1-2 for Apex Racing UK there. Dennis Melchett in 3rd, with Carter Cunningham in 4th and Clive Lawrence in 5th. So really good racing there. A little bit chaotic at times though, Dan. And we saw a couple of big incidents, one of which being that 3-car wreck with Michael Hall, Matt Woodhouse and Lewis Bibby.
Yeah, that was we had a big one with John Roberts as well, but that was probably one of the main talking points, the 3-wide incident. It was like a pinball, Michael Hall, between those two cars, and Sam Reed and Chris Wood as well. I think they're from the same team, so that's a 1-2 for them as well. It looks like from the paint schemes I can see here, but so another 1-2. But yeah, to say, we said it'd be quite fast and frantic with less play time, and it seemed like in some situations there was a bit less patience. I think Lewis Bibby was one who definitely was a bit more aggressive than he definitely was in the first race. He wasn't. It just seemed like he turned it up 10 on the aggressions, and he's managed to finish in 9th. But that car must have been an absolute state drive in the closing stages, because he did take a lot of impact. He hit the wall once as well, going grass tracking, and yeah. So I think Lewis Bibby will be happy with the 9th, because he could have ended up a lot worse, and some of the drivers may have hoped he did finish a lot worse out there.
Well, let's take you through your final results then of race 2 in the Club 73 Touring Car Championship, presented by World League Sim Racing here on Apex Racing TV. And it is Sam Reed then who wins the race ahead of his teammate Chris Wood by 4.1 seconds. To say, Wood in second. Dale Green, good race for him, finishing out in 3rd after starting 3rd. Chris Sherburn, 4th place with Stuart Atkinson, 5th. Neil Rocks in 6th place with Matt Woodhouse, 7th. Pete Harrod and Lewis Bibby, 8th and 9th, with Tristan Bottas rounding out the top 10 of your Kias. The rest of the Kias, Ian Roskell, Scott Malcolm, Gavin Wakefield, Diogo Melro, Michael Hall, who ends up finishing in 15th. And John Roberts, as we say, that big accident, down in 16th place. And then in your Jetta class, it is Ryan Walker who wins that one ahead of Conrad Venter in 2nd place. Dennis Melchett in 3rd with Carter Cunningham in 4th. Clive Lawrence in 5th with Chris White in 6th. Tim Mawson 7th ahead of Steve Hooper, who we saw get into a little bit of an incident with James Leggett. They were 8th and 9th with Miguel Freitas in 10th. The rest of those Jetters, Sean Gardner, Robert Lundgren, our pole sitter Eddie King, Adam Hedgecock, Dan Gunfield, and well, the driver going off to the moon, Alexis Molina, down in last place in the Jetta field. Well, I'm hoping that we'll be able to have a word with our Jetta winner. And well, Dan, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, I'm with Ryan Walker. Ryan, a fantastic victory for you in the Mike Cording Cup there for the Jettas in the second race. How was it for you?
It was pretty tense, to be honest. I mean, I got a good start in the race 2, and I seemed to be quicker than some of the other people in the Jetta class in front of me, and I just decided to try and make a move on them as soon as possible because I was keeping an eye on Dennis, who was starting behind me on the grid, I believe, and I was keeping an eye on him to see where he was in the closing stages, and managed to maintain the gap to him. And I also have to say a big thanks to my teammate from Cheese and Wine, the Conrad Venter, for acting as a rear gunner when he could have possibly maybe pushed like crazy and tried to take a chance and go for the win. But yeah, I have to say thanks to him and thanks to the rest of the team as well. And what an awesome job. And yeah, good. It's been a good night for the team and the points in the bag.
Anything else you'd like to add to that, Paul?
No, that was very comprehensive, Ryan, and we can obviously tell that you've worked with broadcasters at times. So, yeah, how one question that I've got with the speed differential between the Kia Optima and the Jetta, you've managed to be able to run it for the first round at Silverstone, and now here as well. I'm losing my voice here. Yeah, how are you finding it having some of those drivers coming through and having to work with them?
Well, I've basically most of my racing has been in multi-class racing, so I've got an idea of how to handle being lapped, and when the Kias are coming up behind me or behind us rather, it's basically as soon as it catches up to us, is basically just make sure just basically kind of work with them and basically let them know that we basically will let them through, but or basically we basically just work on multi-class traffic and being lapped and just make sure that the lap is safely, and yeah, it seems to be paying off.
And well, before we'll let you get off here, Ryan, anyone you want to give a quick mention to?
Just both the Team Cheese and Wine guys, as I've already mentioned, and a big thanks to them, and also yeah, Cheese and Wine is it's the only people I can think of, and also a big thanks to Conrad, Tim, and Clive for the help with racing in the Jetta as always, which I appreciate, and yeah, hopefully we can get some more results and possibly even more wins in the rest of the season.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for joining us, Ryan. Much appreciated for your time, and all the best for the next round.
Yeah, thanks guys, and good job on the broadcast as well.
Thanks a lot there. So that's Ryan Walker joining us. It doesn't look like we're going to be getting anybody else down. So why don't we round this up then? Two races, two different approaches to those races. You would have thought that the first race would have been the crazy one, but instead it was this second race.
Yeah, I think also the fact in the second race they lapped a lot more of the Jettas would have had a factor in it as well, because the first races we saw they didn't go through the whole Jetta field, but there's a lot more slower traffic, and John Roberts was maybe I wouldn't say a victim of a Jetta, he was maybe a victim of his own impatience there, and that it had an impact on the race with him being second at the time. But yeah, I think there certainly was a lot more elbows out in that second race than we thought there would be. We thought it'd be a bit more, but yeah, they were definitely it's like they'd between races they've been just ramped it up a little bit, and yeah, it made for enthralling viewing for us, but I can imagine there were some quite big heart and mouth moments out on the track.
And of course, next time out it is Monza, a tricky track, and well, it's going to be just Slipstream City around there.
Yeah, especially in the Jetta, I think that's going to be really key with them being the lower powered car, and we've seen it before where momentum is everything in the Jetta. So if they manage to keep up, I think we could see massive train of 4, 5, 6 cars. Same in the Kia really as well, with Monza being the track it is. It's good job not running on the junior circuit, because that would have been quite entertaining.
It certainly would be that first turn into that really narrow junior circuit. Yeah, that would have been entertaining, that's for sure. But well, that's it for us for this week then, and I'd just like to thank everyone for joining us in this broadcast. Well, it's been absolutely breathtaking stuff. I've nearly lost my voice, but we managed to make it in the end. So from myself, Paul Smith, from Dan Blake, and from James Nash on the cameras, you've been watching the Club 73 Touring Car Championship presented by World League Sim Racing here on Apex Racing TV. And until next week, it's goodbye.
Simulated